Yo, what's up guys, welcome back, and in the last episode we just finished our base and we learned the most important thing about cutting shapes into curved areas like that. That's very complicated. Now I had another thought about this, and actually it would have been better to maybe increase this a little bit more, so it's a little bit more dense, this whole area. But for the sake of time, I'm just not going to do it. It's a simple thing, just increase the amount of subdivisions for that thing before cutting, and everything is exactly the same. Okay, so now let me just open up my saves. So now your saves should look something like this. Actually, you just got fan 01, 02, and then auto saves, and then those types of files again. So it creates a little bit of a mess, but still it's better, you get a chance to recover your files anyways. Okay, and now let me just open up all the references. Boom. So right now we are going to model this area right here in this video. This right here, this side thing. So let's go. Okay, so now, like before, let's think what kind of shape do we want to start with. To me, this just looks like a cylinder or like a just cube basically. So I'm just going to take a cube, bevel sides, and that's it. And for this part, I am going to use just HardOps and Boxcutter. You can get away with simple bevels like this. You don't have curves in both sides. Usually it's very hard to get away with HardOps and Boxcutter only when you have curvature in two sides like that. If you have curvature on one side like this, then it's just bevels. It's not that difficult. And right here, it's still, you would say, oh, that's two directions, but it's still a corner. You can get away with corners like that because you bevel one side. Let's say we bevel these sides and then the top part. So let's go. Let's get into it. So just Shift A. Actually, before we continue, let me just turn on scribe so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so Shift A, and then let's just add a cube, S to scale it. And remember, all the time, if you scale it in this view in object mode, always don't forget to apply scale. So Control A and scale. If you're scaling in edit mode, then you don't need to apply the scale. So yeah, so let's just position it kind of roughly where we want it to be. Let's see, it's something like this. So all the objects are added right in the center right now for me. So I don't need to change the y-axis sides. It's just straight in the center already. If your object appears, let's say, somewhere else, you have this right here, just Shift A, and this will appear here. Then you can just simply right click anywhere, snap, and then cursor to world origin. And then this snaps right here, and you'll get new objects in here. And even if you scale, it scales from the center, so it's fine, it will remain in the center. All you need to worry about is z-axis and x-axis, so just change them in this view. Okay, yeah, that looks fine. Now let's just quickly see how thick it is in our reference sheet. So okay, so it's this thickness, so we kind of need to match it, and it's curved right here. Okay, so let's just see. So it's almost right, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's fine, this is fine. And then the side view, let's just go ahead and do the same thing. Now be careful, if you select these edges and try to move it, it will select only these two, the back ones won't be selected. So again, Alt Z, select everything, because X-ray, this one, and then just like that. Boom. Now I'm going to look at this area on my other screen, and I'm going to try to match this. Okay, so it goes kind of straight like this. Yeah, I'm just eyeballing all the proportions, that's actually fine. Okay, and now this kind of goes like this, the base is a little bit wider, and this part maybe ends a little bit somewhere in here. Yeah, actually it ends somewhere in here. Yeah, like that. And then, yep, kinda just get the base shape going. We got something like this, see? Something like that. And right now, try to all the time block out everything with as little geometry as possible and add geometry where it's really necessary. So in this case, Alt R, and let's add 3 edge loops right here. 3 will be enough because we need to get this curvature right in here. And then you can just eyeball it and just kind of go like this. If you want to be a little bit more fancy, you can just maybe select this one, enable this proportional editing, and then hide all those ones, H, like this, these two, and then move them like this. Or maybe we should take this, like that, something like this, and then Alt H to unhide that, and then you get this curve. But yeah, that's just fancy way of doing it. You can just go ahead and without even proportional editing, just select them. And again, remember not to forget only one side, not to move only one side. If you're moving, move both sides like this. Grab both of them. Yeah, so we got this shape. And then this just goes straight, and then this, at the top here, it has a small curve. But now the question is, do we get this curve from only bevel modifier, or we should add geometry and curve it? So one thing that I see is that it already is the proportions aren't right. This should be this should end somewhere here. So let's just go ahead and redo this part, create more of a curvature like this. And now if you notice, there is a slight curve maybe up right here in this side like this. Just select that, that, and then that. And then maybe relax this one a little bit, so it's less of a curve. Something like this. Okay. Now here we will make bevels, and it's at the end it's going to look like this. Now I'm just showing this to demonstrate how the shape will be in here, and it's kinda just like this, right? Okay, and yeah, so remember, so first just main shape, we worry later about this part right here, this cut right here. We worry about that later. For now, just main shape. Okay, so that's right. Now, after you get block out, let's, okay, actually, so there are multiple ways of how we can bevel it. We can just quickly fix the shading so it's right, so just Q, sharpen it, and then Q, and add small bevel like this for everything, just in case we'll get some edges which will need beveling. Okay, but now, right here, you have multiple options. So this right here, so this edge and that edge, they should be beveled like this. Now, what's wrong with this method right here? What's wrong with this method right here? It's not flexible. That's the problem right now, because this is geometry. It's hard geometry. What you can do is run another bevel on top of this one. But for the sake of simplicity, that gets a little bit complicated. We're not going to do that. We will just keep it simple. It would take longer to set up all the flexible setup than to just go ahead and quickly just hit bevel in this case, because this shape isn't really that complicated, so that's going to be fine. But then again, select this and this, because all of those things, they should have the curve. So yeah, so something like this. And here, just make sure that these things don't intersect right here at the top. Right, just like that. Now, I think they will have to actually intersect, because we do have a little bit of a bigger curve everywhere in here. We have something like this, which means that the top part can be actually a little bit not so small. Just make it a little bit bigger like this. something like this. It's just like an optical illusion. And yeah, I'm just giving you a real-time, basically, modeling experience, so you could follow with me together and see how I approach things. Now I see that there is some stuff with shading, I think, something like this in here, and it will have to be fixed. So first I can already see that I'm running bevel and it's at angle. And let's see, maybe we have some some weighted edges. Mean bevel weight, yep, but that's not messing this up. Let's just go ahead and go into this bevel menu and just hit 1 just in case. So everything resets, 1 and then N to recalculate normals. That often helps us. Yeah, so this is because of this geometry. Yeah, because these are intersecting right here, they are too close still. So yeah, so let's just make it a little bit smaller the bevel. Just go back. And then just Control B. And just like that. Oh, okay, I see what's going on now. Okay. So just Control bevel. And what's happening now is this bevel is picking up the side. That's what's going on. It's picking up this side right here, this bevel. So we need to decrease this angle right here. I mean increase it until it loses and it stops picking it up. We want it to pick this up, but not the bottom one. Like that. Now it picks this up, but then we get some issues right here at the top. So let's go into bevel, click 1 again, and then N, 1, and that will fix this stuff. Now this, some errors in here. Yeah, I don't like how it's looking in here. Yeah, actually, that's just fine. That's what I'm going to do. Just slide those out so we don't get this harsh geometry right here at the top. Okay, and now maybe just scale it in Y a little bit so it's a little bit smaller still because it was way too wide. Now this is in the center, right? Yep, it's exactly in the center. And what about this? Alt G to reset. Yep, it's in the center fully. Let's just move this a little bit further from this edge, from this right here. Okay, and now, so for the game when we'll be optimizing, we will delete this edge at the bottom right here, this face, I mean, right now it doesn't really matter, don't even delete it, because it's a high poly. And for objects, we're going to, don't really worry which objects are joined and which ones are not. This is completely perfect. It can be a separate object. But if you want to run bevel in here and then different sized bevel in here, then you will actually need to make it as different object. So yeah, so for now just this is one object, that's another one. And right now again, do we want to connect this like that? Do we want it to be connected geometry between those parts or not? That's the question. So again, it's all about how close it's going to be to the camera. It's going to be this close at max. It doesn't matter. You won't see here a small little groove or something like that. It doesn't really matter at all. So you don't even need to worry about this. Leaving them intersected like that is just completely fine. Okay, so boom. So we made this area right here. And now we need this circle right here at the top. Now I'm looking at all the proportions and I think that this is a little bit too small. So I'm going to increase its scale a little bit. Okay, now it looks more like it. Yeah, now it's better. And now let's just go ahead and cut this in here. Okay, I'm back. My Blender just crashed for some reason. Okay, so make sure that you add that you have weighted normals and just delete the bevel modifier. You don't need it for now. And okay, so now we're going to cut this hole right here. But again, you see there is bevel. It starts beveling on this side right here. So this area, it turns this way. So it's a little bit more complicated cut. It's not just on the straight surface cut. We are going to not cut only in here, you see, and this surface is straight. We are going to also cut in these parts, and they are curved, you see. If straight would be like this, SY0. Straight would be like this, but now it has curvature. So again, for that we need denser geometry. So before we continue, I think we need to bevel this a little bit more, but before we do that, you need to apply the scale, because we forgot to do that. So just apply the scale like this, and just bevel it. And now, let me just see. Yeah, okay. Let's just add subdivision surface modifier. So control and hit 2. And it's going to add the subdivision surface modifier. And then let's just add one edge loop at the bottom right here, so that it goes straight. And then for the top right here, it's actually fine. Okay, yeah, actually, just apply it. And now we need even more, even denser geometry right here, so add additional loop cuts somewhere in here. Here, actually, maybe even 2, like that. We need dense geometry to reduce all the possible issues. Okay, and now just make sure that the Boxcutter is enabled, so Alt W and then D, and make sure that you select 32 right here, polygons. And now let's just go ahead and select the mesh and cut inside of it like this. Boom. Now, in this case, you do need to actually give some cuts to the cutter as well. You remember, we need to do that as well. So like this, boom. Now everything is straight, good. Now let's actually add a bevel modifier. Make it something like this, but right now, actually it's a little bit smaller, in fact, something like this. But now we see we got a lot of weird stuff. So let's just see. The bevel should just be picking this up. Everything else shouldn't be picked up by this angle. So just this area right here. And now, if we want to fix all the errors right here, we do need to apply the boolean. So Control Sharpen, because we need access to geometry. And now, just like before, go ahead and fix everything in here like this. Now you could do this manually, but I'm going to show you a really cool fix trick, how you can do it faster and better. Actually, there is a function in Machine Tools. So you select this whole edge, and then you press Y, and you press Offset Cut right here. Now the factor is going to be insane. Don't freak out. Just reduce the factor like this. Just reduce it to your liking, to the bevel which you need. And then in this case, we need something like this bevel. You see? Maybe actually even a little bit smaller. Let me just decrease it to something like this, because we don't need it to be that massive. And then just Control B. But before actually we do that, let's just clean up the geometry just in case. So there's another thing in MeshMachine. Just click Y, and you remember the process of just joining everything in here, just making it up, just cleaning all this stuff up like that to get rid of errors. It's going to be pretty much the same. So just click, Alt click, yeah, just click and then hold Alt and click to select this, because otherwise it will select just like this. So select this, And now Y, and there is Boolean cleanup right here. So right now just select side A or B. Just see which one works better for you and kind of just move your mouse a little bit. Let's see with the other side. So for me, this side, so right now it deforms this side, and if I do this B side, now it deforms this side. So for me it's better to deform this side. I get better results. And now just kind of hit this to apply. So now it cleans up some stuff. Though actually no, we need to select this side. I think that the other one is better. This one is better right here. Okay, and now that's good. We cleaned it up. And now let's do the same thing. Offset cut. Boom. And now just hit Control B to, I mean not Control B. It's just going to automatically do it because you have bevel modifier applied. You get small shading issue right here. Let's just fix it. Join this. And boom. That's pretty much done, you see. Now here, clean up all this shit. We don't need that. Just select the center and Control plus a few times. F to make a face right here. And now I think that actually let's just delete this face right here. Face is completely. And now let's just select everything and hit and just go into face and grid fill like this. And now span, you can change the span. This until it looks cleanest. So something like this. That looks clean. And now let's just go ahead and select this edge right here. And you see, this has curvature. This is curved actually. So that's what we're doing now. We're creating this curvature. So enable proportional editing, increase this. And maybe we can get better result with sphere actually. Kinda. No, not really smooth is better actually. Okay. Let's see. How can we deal with this? Now you see we are a little bit messed up right here because we added more subdivisions. So, and now it's way harder to tweak the geometry. We don't need that many subdivisions here, so I'm just going to clean the mesh a little bit. Delete something like every other vertex like this from all of the sides. It will be easier to work with the model. That one as well. Yeah, still shading looks good in here. Just some small stuff in here and here. This as well. Select all those into there. Yeah, that's fine. And now let's just see here. Let's just select this edge again and move it with proportional editing like that. And now this one needs to be moved a little bit too, like that. And then this one as well. We're just making basically this shape right here, this curve. Boom. And now I think that this might be picked up by our bevel. Something is wrong with the bevel. Let's see here. Oh, wow, it's actually not being picked up. Okay. Though I see here some huge error. Let's just fix it. And then this. We reduced the amount of polygons, that's why we started getting some edge errors right here. And now this one, okay, this one is quite sharp. I don't like it. I feel like the center part, it's kind of concave. I don't know. It's weird. It's actually not. It's just an optical illusion. I'm just going to go ahead and just tweak this manually myself like that. to make it not as hard. And now you can just go ahead and, if you have mesh machine, just hit Alt and press X and symmetrize it on the left side like that. And in the center it might create some stuff, so let's just select everything, press 3 to clean up stuff in there, and boom, so we symmetrize it to the other side. If you don't have mesh machine, you can just select the whole mesh, click Alt X, and then select this axis. That's mirroring with HardOps. Yeah, so boom. Now this part is actually done. There we go. That part is completed. Now again, the top part could be a little bit better. Again, I mean, by saying better, I mean that it should be more accurate. But again, it doesn't really matter. It's a game asset, so it's just fine. If you needed accuracy, you could just go ahead and just refine all that stuff. It's just, there's no point in doing that now. And just before we finish everything off, we are going to complete it by adding here a cut. You see there is a cut actually, and then in the center right here, this is filled. So you could just go ahead and add cylinder and just kind of try and place it inside of there. There's another easier way. You just locate the cutter that you used in here, which was this one, and then just press Q, and there's a little handy thing in HardOps menu settings. It's shade solid, so go ahead and hit that, and boom, now you got this shade solid, and it's just going to shade this solid. Boom. However, you need to create a copy and shade solid. You don't want this cutter to do that. So to do that, you can just hold Control or Shift, and then it will just duplicate and create a solid. Then just hit 1 to enable this collection, and right now this cutter remained in here, and we just created a new mesh. And now just go ahead and click Q and just sharpen, and then just add a small bevel to it as well. And then it goes out a little bit too much, so just move it in like that. Boom. Now we have this part right here. There we go. And now let's just select both of the meshes, because we want to cut inside both of them. Or actually no, we don't want to cut this one. It's just like a thing that that's used to rotate around, so we don't want to cut around this one, just this one. And just select box and just go ahead and cut somewhere in here like that. Boom. And now just to make the cut perfectly in the center, symmetrize it once again. I'll just use HardOps. Just select this, Alt X, X to reset everything, and just click on these X's right here. And then we get some errors right here. So what we could do is just try and move a little bit our thingy so we stop getting those errors. Something like this. Let's see. Nope, we will actually have to manually fix this once we apply that. So let's just do it, apply that, and let's see what the hell is going on with the geometry in here. Okay, I see. So the bevel picks some edges up, but not everything fully. So let's just decrease this a little bit so it starts picking up everything, all the edges in here as well, because we are running bevel on these, and then we need to run it on these edges right here. And then we have some problems in here, so just join this to this, that to that. And let's see how the other side is looking. That, and that's good actually. Boom. You see, everything is looking fine. Now the geometry is bad on this right side, but we used the HardOps mirror modifier, and it actually, you see the correct geometry right here on this view. When you change something, you see it, but the wireframe, it doesn't change anything. It's just how HardOps behaves. So everything will be fine once you apply the HardOps mirror like this. Now everything is fine, you see. No doubles or anything like that. But I'm not going to apply it because we might need it later. Yep, so like that. Okay, boom. So now we got this part right here done. Just ease the top part. And yeah, so in the next episode, we're going to add this little piece connector, which will rotate, and then the top part, and maybe even make the top part in here, the whole part. So yeah, I hope you're modeling it with me. And yeah, if you got any questions, just make sure to drop them in the comment section. I will answer them to you. And yeah, so that's the progress so far. Boom. Okay, yeah, see ya guys.